Just wake me up, just wake me up, don't let me down. Just give me coffee. Just wake me up, just wake me up, just wake me up, push this cold brew. Just wake me up, just wake me up, don't let me down. Give me coffee. Just wake me up, just wake me up, just wake me up, push this cold brew. Just let me be blunt. My speech in the morning, nothing but grunts. With no coffee, that's as dangerous. On a scale from 1 to 10, I rank it that girl from Stranger Things. And if you get what I'm saying, my attitude be mad flagrant like I'm Draymond. But you ain't get the picture, BFP. So I'm gonna keep pushing on you, GNC. It's like, yeah, the first thing on my mind is when that hot coffee gonna seep into the coffee grind. It's like some magic's floating all in the air. Toss some ice cubes in my cup, it's a good day. All I gotta say is that it's starting in a good way. It's time for working and I don't even care. Just wake me up, just wake me up, don't let me down. Just give me coffee. Just wake me up, just wake me up, just wake me up, push this cold brew. Just wake me up, just wake me up, don't let me down. Give me coffee. Just wake me up, just wake me up, just wake me up, push this cold brew. We start fresh, that's how it's gotta be. Everything starts back with your coffee beans. If it's cold brew, then it's gotta be coarse. Don't get the cart ahead of the horse, start learning the course. But of course you can disregard, and don't at me if it gets too hard. When it's my time to drink, man, it's always on hand. Drink from a cup or a bottle, even a can. You never know when you're craving a hit. It could be in the bathroom while you're taking a Ric Flair while singing, ain't got nothing on it. When that coffee hits my lips, it's a seance. Feeling real super with the cape on. Anything I'll take on. This cup of coffee, yeah boy, this is the shit. Just wake me up, just wake me up, don't let me down. Just give me coffee. Just wake me up, just wake me up, just wake me up, push this cold brew. Just wake me up, just wake me up, don't let me down. Give me coffee. Just wake me up, just wake me up, just wake me up, push this cold brew. Third verse, so I guess that's where I talk about how we might be addicted in a roundabout kind of way, or how you say, a dependency that's in my life, and I'm proud to say it's filling me with way more energy than I'll ever need, keeping me up for things I thought I'd never see. Time's gonna kill us all one day, whether old age, illness, or from listening to Coldplay. F that noise, wubba love, love. Drink all the coffee, chug a lug, lug. The day doesn't start till you're on your second cup. If they talk before then, homies better die. It's
Good morning, all of you beautiful nerds from around the world, and welcome to the morning stream here on the Den of Nerds Live. The very best way to start your nerdy day. On today's show, we're going to be talking a little bit about these new comic books. There's some new comic books out there. Trinity from Second Stream Marvel is going to join the show. We're going to talk about the new comics that are out there. What should you be reading? What's going on in comics? We're going to talk about that a little bit. And, of course, we're going to talk about the MCU Multiverse. Strange things are afoot at the Circle K, Ted. We did a nice little breakdown Monday talking about some news about Evan Peters coming into the WandaVision show. Evan Peters famously played Quicksilver in the Fox X-Men shows. Really, really crazy stuff. Really, really crazy stuff. We're going to get into all of that and more. Let's say what's up to the peeps. Bunch of beautiful nerds in here this morning, man. Let's see what's going on. Trinity's in here. Dave Fuller, Bill M, Yinzer Jim, Captain Pennsylvania, Mr. Deed, Sam Shills, Mike Porter, Sly's in the building, Ryan H, John Harris, Lucas Rodriguez, Fan Jexture, Lance, Harvey, Gray, Will, Stormbreaker, Jonathan, Lavis, Coachella Coastal, Jason, John, Dave, Maverick Pilgrim, Stephen J, Justin, Ricardo. Oh my God, bunch of beautiful people in here. If I missed your name, I apologize. What is going on, everybody? How we doing, man? Back at it today. Renee's in here. Do me a favor, guys, would you? Would you do me a little favor? pause the music for a second. This is a serious thing. Serious thing, guys. Serious. Can you smash that like button? Let's go! Smash that like button! Give it a nice little smash, you know what I mean? Cough, cough, Dave. Dave. That's a good name, man, you know? Look, guys. There's real stuff going on in the world, for sure. It's fucking insanity, to be honest with you. But look, we're just going to keep it light, man. We're going to keep it light. We're going to stay on target. Okay? We took yesterday off in solidarity. But I had a lot of people reach out to me. It was actually really interesting. A lot of people saying, look, man, we need this content. Like, look, I get it, and I get what you're saying. I get what you're doing. But we need the content. I saw some comments made by Roberto Blake. Roberto Blake is a great content creator, public speaker. And he kind of, he made some really good points. And I think that the bottom line is, man, like we gotta keep going. We gotta get back to work. And although there's a lot of serious stuff out there, there's plenty of people out there to watch and to absorb that kind of content and to get a look at what's going on or opinions about what's going on. But that's not what we do here, people. You know what I mean? We got to talk about the nerdy stuff. So before I even bring Trinity on, I just want to speak a little bit about some of the other nerdy things that have been going on that I haven't even been able to talk about. Just because of the craziness and trying to adjust to it. First of all, when the Taylor Lane hits your lips, baby. Woo! Oh my God, when the Taylor Lane official coffee of the morning streams hits your lips. Woo! That's good stuff. First of all, tonight at 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, tonight, the very first episode of the Nerd Card Showdown is streaming on this channel. Now look, it's the first episode. The bottom line is, you are going to want to be there. You're going to want to say, after this thing blows up and becomes the biggest thing in nerdy fandom, the most important trivia contest out there in pop culture, that nerds around the world beg, plead, bribe, and we'll totally accept the bribes, by the way, to get into this contest before all of that happens and it blows up. You are going to want to be there for the first episode because, hey, look, it's the first episode. There might be a few hiccups here and there. There might be some things going on. And after it blows up, you're going to want to tell your friends, oh, yeah, no, I was there for the very first one. I was there for the first one. This, and this happened. Josh freaked out. Josh's rage meter went off, Or Josh freaked out on this team, or this team freaked out on that team, and then there was anger, and there was this, and there was that. You're going to want to be there. Tonight, we have the Slipper Clan. In the red corner, we've got the Slipper Clan. That's a small preview of what you'll be getting tonight. You have that. And in the blue corner, the real spiel. Oh, man. Who will triumph? Who will be defeated? Who will flub a totally obvious answer that the rest of their team is very frustrated that they didn't get correct? I can't wait. I can't wait. Should we do a little preview, a little preview thing? Should we show you guys just something? Just a thing, just real quick. Do you guys want to see something? Let me know in chat. Do you want to see a little? You want to see a little tease? Do you want to see a little tease? Oh, and we do have the bracket completed. Yeah, it will be posted today. We're gonna go crazy on posting today, guys. We just didn't really post a lot yesterday. Do you guys want to see something? You want to see something? Want to see a little something? It doesn't really seem like people really want to. Maybe we'll just move on. Maybe we can we'll just move on a little bit. Let me see if I want to. Here, maybe we'll just show you guys something for just one thing real quick. Check this out. Hey, just a little something, just a little something. All right, now look, we're going to bring in Trinity. We're talking comics. We're talking multiverse. We're talking all of this. But real quick, I just want to touch on this. Yesterday, there was supposed to, we've been leading up to talking about some Star Wars stuff, right? There was supposed to be a story yesterday about an upcoming game that was coming out. Okay? So, green screen yourself behind the podium. Maybe. I mean, look, maybe you have to come on by, baby. You have to come on by today. You know what I mean? Okay, look. There was supposed to be a Star Wars story that came out yesterday. By all accounts, guys, if you look at what people are saying, you look at what was buzzing before, they were going to announce Project Maverick yesterday. Okay? Say the name. All right, Maverick. Oh, calm down there, buddy. No, yeah. They were going to announce Project Maverick yesterday. Now, what I think this is, the PS5 reveal got pushed back, June. A lot of stuff got pushed back, man, Like, frankly, and I get it. You know what I mean? I get it. But, Project Maverick, what I think it is, and I don't know for sure. Again, I told you, I actually didn't reach out to anybody about this. I actually don't really want to know. I'm also kind of afraid that they'll tell me not to talk about it. But anyway, what I think it's going to be is a sort of flight simulator Rogue Squadron type game using the DICE Battlefront assets, because the space combat in Battlefront 2 is actually really cool. And I think they're going to bring that in and make it into a full-fledged game. Which is wild. It ends up being a chess simulator. Wouldn't that be funny? Yeah, it'll probably get shown next week. Now, what I'm really hoping, I actually hope that they do something pretty wild with this and they release it, like, real quickly. Like, I'd prefer them to be like, hey, here's Project Maverick. It's this dope flight simulator. It's not a $60 game. And by the way, you can buy it today. I think that would be wicked, dude. So that's one of the nerdy things that's going on. I also, there's a report out there about how AT&T might want Ben Affleck back as Batman and Joe Manganiello back for Deathstroke. And I have to look into that because the people that are reporting it are not, in my opinion, I don't know much about them. I don't know how reputable they are. So I got to check that out. Man, yeah, I feel like I'm so behind. I feel like we could crank out a ton of videos today, but I still have a lot of work to do for the trivia thing tonight. So there might not be a ton of videos today, but just keep an eye out on the main channel. There's so much nerdy stuff that we got to talk about, guys. So lots of crazy stuff coming at you very soon, okay? Chat, pause the music. I think it's time, man. I think we got to bring in friend of the channel, Trinity, from 2nd Street Marvel. Let's bring him in.
What's up?
Trinity, what's going on, man?
Today? Oh, not much. It's new comic book day, and there's all kinds of drama in the world. So what could be better than new comic book day, right?
Amen. Bring a little bit of normalcy, get us just geeking out a little bit more. You know what I mean? So, we had sort of spoke before briefly, and you were saying that, yeah, it's kind of a slower week for them comic books. We have weeks like this, but what are you recommending? What are you telling people to read?
Well, I only actually got a couple of books this week. I got Neon Future, volume 2, issue number 2, just came out today. I didn't get a chance to, but one I would definitely say, if you guys are into it, I'm sure everybody watched the show. If you're here on this channel, probably is The Boys. Ooh. This is The Boys, Dear Becky, issue number 1. a new series kicking off in the boys world, if you will.
Nice.
I got this one read. It was pretty funny. I'm not really familiar with the boys or anything. I haven't even watched the show. I watched the first episode, and I thought this issue was pretty funny. And of course, it has stuff in there to kind of catch you up if you haven't read before any of the books or anything or know much about it. And the other one I got is Reaver, issue number 8. This is like the second story arc in this series, and it's really cool because what's going on in this one is like it takes place in we're like medieval times, and we're dealing with magic and all just kinds of different crazy stuff going on here. But what we found out in issue number 7, which was the first part in the second arc, they're dealing with child trafficking and human trafficking in these medieval times, and it was pretty crazy. And that's something that I like reading stuff about that when there's especially when you got characters going out and fighting against that kind of stuff. Great stuff.
Yeah,
great
man.
stuff. Issue number 2 here, or issue number 8, 2 of 5 in this second story arc was great.
Right on, man. There's some indie stuff, man. Get your indie on, baby.
Yeah, definitely. And then, of course, DC has been doing a lot of their digital books as well, releases. And yesterday, they released issue number 2 of Deceased Hope at World's End. And I talked a little bit about that yesterday on the channel because I read it and I was like, dang, man, DC's really been knocking it out of the park lately with just some of their books. And I don't think it's necessarily on purpose. I think it's just the timing and the books that they've got going on just happen to just fit right in there with the times.
Yeah, well, it's funny you say that. So I loved the first Deceased, and I did read the second one sort of right before we came on. And man, what a great book. And it's so funny to me because I think there's still the same amount of page numbers. The paneling's a little bit different. They're not set up as a traditional comic because it's only digital. So the paneling is a little bit different, but I actually really like it. And so is this a thing where DC is just doing their stuff on Tuesdays now? How long has that been going on?
I think they started that a little over a month ago.
Okay.
It might have been a little bit over a month ago. And what they've been doing is they've been doing some, I can't remember what they're calling, digital firsts or something like that, where I guess they're dropping titles every day, something every day for people to read. And yeah, a lot of these, like this Hope at World's End, these are ones that they're just doing digital only. I don't know. I'm guessing maybe at some point they'll put them in one of the books or anything. But yeah, I think it's pretty cool. I mean, they're getting something out there for people to read.
Yeah.
And then a lot of these things they are still putting out on print later as well. Like I picked up Hawkman issue number 23 that I read over a month ago.
Nice. Yeah, I think so. And I think that they're priced correctly too because they're 99 cents. You know what I mean? So the digital only versions of this are 99 cents, and I agree with you, dude. The Deceased books are awesome, and I highly recommend people check them out. Is Deceased? I saw some other books and it had the title on it. So this is an event that's kind of going on in at least a couple other books, right?
Yeah, well, I know they've got the 6-issue miniseries that they did just last year, where it all kicked off. There was those 6 issues. Then they did one tie-in issue called Deceased: A Good Day to Die. And then they just finished a 3-issue miniseries called Deceased Unkillables, which the main story arc was really more about the heroes and the anti-life equation and them stopping that. And then, I don't want to spoil the story. It's mostly what the heroes are doing. And then the series that just wrapped up right now, Deceased Unkillables, is more about the villains and what they were doing during the same time.
Oh, okay.
And then these Hopes at World End, these 2 little digital issues, are just kind of little tie-ins to that. And they're really great tie-ins to the series overall. And overall, I think both of the series, especially Unkillables, the thing it kind of reflects in there compared to what was going on in the regular story arc of Deceased, I don't know, just like I said yesterday, it just kind of got me all thinking with everything that's going on right now in the world, it just kind of got me all thinking about everything. I'm like, and everything beyond even just what the current chaos going on in America right now, let alone what's going on in the world with the pandemic, and let alone what's going on in the world of, entertainment, online news, and things like that. I mean, the way the anti-life equation spreads, the way it affects everybody. And like, I was sitting there thinking like, man, like the how would you say the analogy, or the, I don't know, the metaphor is so strong there.
Yeah,
it's so strong there.
It is. I found it pretty interesting too, especially like when you look at what he did to his own people, and like, you know, how he was dealing with the infection and the spread. And, you know, Black Adam is an awesome character, and it was really, I don't know. There's a lot to love in that second issue, man. I mean, like, I'm a big Superman person, right? So, like, you know, the conversation that he has with Superman, I think, is really interesting. And then the fact that, like, you know, Superman has that Goku thing too, where like he's like, he can't help but like make you think, and you know, he also almost gets. I don't want to say like he makes enemies into friends. You know, that's Goku's thing, like a little bit more than Superman. But I think Superman has that same effect where like he can talk to people and make them consider things that maybe they hadn't considered before, which I thought was really cool. But yeah, and then like that twist at the end, like I was like, oh shit, like that's pretty cool. Yeah, that's pretty cool stuff. I read Force Works number 3. Okay, now Force Works was an interesting comic. It was on hold because of, you know, everything shutting down. But it was an interesting book. I'm trying to think. I think that book might have been cut short. I think it was supposed to be a longer miniseries, and it looks like they pretty much wrapped it after 3. But I enjoyed the book. I enjoyed the series. I don't know. I don't know if I would. Maybe I would suggest people like picking it up on back issues once like the price drops a little bit, because it's a cool story. And the reason I was initially intrigued is because it had U.S. Agent in it. And, you know, with all the talk about like Falcon and the Winter Soldier, I was like, okay, well, let's see what Johnny's doing. And to be honest, like the way they did that whole series with him specifically was really cool. His character, the way the other characters feel about him, how he interacts with them, it was pretty cool, pretty spot on. I'm hoping that we get some of that John Walker carried over into the show, which I think we will. There's some interesting stuff with like Maria Hill and Quake, and I don't want to ruin who shows up, but another character that's rumored to be showing up in the MCU sort of soon as a villain shows up as well. Which I felt was pretty interesting. So I liked Force Works, but that's pretty. I don't know if it's for everybody, man. You know what I mean? Like I don't know if I could like highly recommend people go out and spend $4 on issues like that. But I did think that was pretty cool.
And yeah, that's the stuff that's all part of like that Iron Man thing going on there, right?
Correct. Yep.
Yeah, I don't really read Iron Man anyway. I'm pretty sure. I'm not going to get into that.
Yeah, no, we know. Look, everybody knows you hate Tony Stark, Trinity. We get it.
I don't really read much, but I read the first issue of that Iron Man 2020 thing going on, and I read it. I'm just like, I don't know what this is. It made me kind of feel like, you know what? Honestly, I thought it was a little more bland than this new issue of Black Widow that I just read.
Interesting. Okay. I mean, look, I can see it. I mean, sometimes events and stuff like that are. And actually, I wanted to ask you about this because I saw in one of your streams, you had said something about how like you're not really gonna do Empire, or like you're not really doing the big events anymore. What's up with that?
Well, for me, it's mostly like what I like to do is I like to read all the tie-ins and everything. And one thing I can say, if you're reading the events and just stick with just the main story arc is what I would say. And then, but like I'm a guy, like I like to read everything kind of going on there. So I'm gonna wait till it comes out on trade later, or maybe just wait for Marvel Unlimited, because the way they release, also they always release in a nonsensical fashion. Yeah. And I just don't get that, and like to the point where it's kind of triggering. So on the events, I'll just wait. And read those later. At the point I'm at right now is I won't even read the main story arc and then read the tie-ins later. It's just like I'll just wait for it all later so I can consume it all at once. Kind of like binge watching, I guess.
Yeah, no, I get you. It's gonna be tough for me, man. I mean, like, so it's a double-edged sword for me because I see the events and they can become a problem, and I think that Marvel leaned way too hard into them over the past couple of years. You know, it was just because they sell. Like, I get it, but it's one of those things where you just see the numbers and you're like, well, we'll do more of this and it equals more of that, and they don't really consider the wider consequences of that. But having said that, the 10 of swords or sword 10, that X-Men thing, that seems really interesting to me. Like I'm probably going to read that one. Empire itself, I mean, the imagery of all of these people with these hammers, you know what I mean? And the Ronan the Accused type of imagery, and the Kree, playing a big role. Like, I don't know, it looks kind of cool. I'm wondering if Empire and 10 swords or swords of 10 or whatever that X-Men one is, I wonder if those two events are gonna, like, I'm just thinking like Avengers with hammers on one side and X-Men with swords on the other side. Like, sign me the F up, dude. That sounds kind of cool.
Definitely some interesting stuff going on there. Like, there are some things I'll probably end up reading out of it just because there are going to be tie-ins of main story arcs. Like, I'm sure like some X-Men or some stuff like that, or Captain America or Captain Marvel will end up tying into it somehow, and I'll end up reading those just by default of the fact that I pull those.
Right.
But yeah, altogether, I probably won't really pay much attention. But the X-Men stuff, if it's like the X-Men world stuff, the Hickman stuff, I will definitely be reading that.
Yeah.
If anything, just to do reviews for here on the channel, because I mean, it's one of the things that a lot of people really want to know about in all these events going on. Like, most of my, like, there's very few other comic reviews that I do that get more hits than the Hickman X-Men stuff.
Yeah. I mean, it's very popular. I mean, and they did such a good job with that. That's the thing. I think one of the problems I had with the events was sort of that half in, half out sort of thing, right? Where they don't fully commit to it, and there's still other stuff going on in the comics that doesn't tie into it, and then there's all this other sort of backlogged continuity, and it gets really confusing. I really liked that when Hickman pitched, his stuff, he was essentially like, shut down everything. You have to shut down everything. And while we're telling this story, the only X-Men book that are coming out are this story. And I felt like that was such a bold and brilliant move. And it's I think it worked. It's one of the things where, like, even if you look back at his Secret Wars, right? They had this big elaborate build up to this thing. And I remember the idea was really combining the 616 with the Ultimates universe, and the way they were talking about it, Marvel specifically, was that like we're smashing two pizzas together, and now it's one pizza with just a bunch of toppings from the other places. And I was like, oh man, that's really bold, that's really cool. But then they sort of didn't even commit to that, you know what I mean? Like they basically treated it like a thing that almost didn't happen. It touched continuity in certain places, but it didn't affect the whole line. And so for me, like, that's kind of weak sauce, you know what I mean? Like, Marvel's inability to commit to a reboot, to really commit to something fresh and doing something like that, I think has held them back. But Hickman and the X-Men books, they did it right, in my opinion, dude. That stuff has been great. And yeah, I'm a little bit behind on some of that stuff, but I want to get caught up, and I want to get ready for the swords. What's the swords book going to be called? Am I getting it right? Is it 10 of Swords, I think is what it's called?
Yeah, I believe that is what it's called. I haven't really paid attention to a whole lot of like some of that tie-in stuff that's been coming in, like some of the news that's been coming out, mostly just the solicits. And I do remember seeing that all that stuff in there, but how it's going to tie into everything else, I'm not exactly for sure of. For the most part, I just look, and when it comes to like the Marvel and DC books, I just look at what's coming up, and like, I know my LCS is going to be getting it in, you know what I mean?
Right.
So I don't really concentrate, like when I'm looking through the solicits and stuff, as much on that, because I'm like, it'll be there. I know I can get it. What I mostly pay attention for more, like when paying attention to future comic books, is the indie stuff. Books coming up.
Gotcha. Fair point. Well, yeah, let's shift the conversation. Let's talk a little bit of MCU, man. Okay. So there was this crazy report that Charles Murphy put out, and Aaron Taylor, I believe is the guy's name, right?
Aaron Taylor Johnson.
Yeah. So he is coming over and playing a key role. It's not a small role.
Oh.
Yeah.
Aaron Taylor Johnson was the
other guy. Okay. Yeah. Who's the new guy? The new guy.
Oh man! All of a sudden, you made me brain fart, and I forgot his name.
Don't matter. We all know who we're talking about. It's the guy from that played
Evan Peters.
Yeah, Evan Peters. Yep. So Evan Peters is not rumored. I mean, yeah, technically, let's call it a rumor, but he was spotted on the set. Basically, is what it is he was spotted on the set, and he's apparently playing a pretty significant role in WandaVision. Now, Charles put out this article, and he talks about in the article how it could be Quicksilver. He kind of doesn't think it's going to be Quicksilver, but it's possible that it's Quicksilver. I saw a lot of other people talking about how they think it's going to be Mephisto, which would also be really cool. But what's your just baseline take of Evan Peters coming to WandaVision just in general? What do you think about that?
Well, for one, I think that here's the thing is Marvel Studios need to get talent in there, and and it like obviously we can see they've recycled some talent in the MCU, even within the MCU, and then bringing in other actors. I don't think it necessarily means that they're bringing in stuff from the other franchises or anything like that, but it very well could.
Right.
Evan Peters, I think, as anything I've seen him in, I think he's a really good actor in. Now, as far as anything, when I first heard the news, a lot of people talking about Mephisto. I'm like, perfect. Look at this guy. I can see him being Mephisto. Like, he looks like he could be a great Mephisto. But then I also started thinking about, I think it was something else you were talking about when you talked about that story. And something that we had talked about last week is the DCEU coming in and basically just saying, checkmate with just exploding their universe if they do decide to do all that stuff with the Snyder Cut stuff and the Matt Reeves Batman and just having all that different universe stuff.
Yeah.
I started thinking, imagine if in the middle of all of that, DCU's like, checkmate, and MCU Kevin Feige just comes in and just says like, yeah, okay, and boom, and this is it. Maybe they are going to do that.
Yeah.
And they're just going to include those characters. It doesn't constantly in it, but just to integrate and be like, hey, we know these things exist, and this might make some of the fans happy. I mean, I could easily see something like that happen. Kind of, it's not saying that it all ties in, but it's kind of just tipping its hat to everything, really.
Yeah, for sure.
And
no, I
for
got
it to all tie together, I think we just.
Yo, I'm having a little trouble with your audio. Give me 1 second, Trinity. I'm gonna reset my StreamYard, which I absolutely hate, and Adam keeps telling me to use Google, and so I might just have to do that for now on, because I think StreamYard is kind of garbage, to be honest with you. Because we have this issue with Adam a little bit, so I'm going back into it right now. And let me see. Hopefully this fixes the issue. Give me a little bit of audio, Trinity. Oh, I think it's delayed a little bit. Oh, yeah, give me a little audio if you're there. Trinity? Oh, you know what? I probably got to add myself to the stream so you can hear me. Can you hear me, brother?
Yeah.
Yeah, give me a little audio. Let me see if I can figure this out.
Okay. So I don't know.
It's still it's still crackling a little bit. I don't know.
Maybe I need to go out and come back in.
Yeah, let's try that. Let's see if we can fix it up. God, StreamYard, you're such garbage. But yeah, we'll get it figured out. To kind of piggyback off of what Trinity's talking about here, and I'll wait a little bit just to see if we can get him back in here and talk about it. But I think one of the things that's really interesting about this is that we still don't know exactly what the relationship is between Sony and Marvel. And we still don't know exactly what their actual plan is. And the big question mark, I think, is that Sony wants you to think that it's all just one connective universe, right? That's obviously what they want. Let's see if we can get Trinity back in here. All right, brother, give me a little audio.
Are we working now? Is it good? Are we good to go?
It's still a little crackly. I don't necessarily think it's all that bad. We'll just have to see. I'll let the chat kind of tell me what they think about it.
And I noticed on my end, even a little bit with you, it's a little bit crackly as well.
Yeah,
you know what? Yeah, it's StreamYard, man.
Yeah, StreamYard is not that great. Let me see here. Let me see if maybe this will make it better if I go to that. So that probably makes the audio a little bit better on your end. I don't know. Give me a little of your audio. Let's see.
Oh. Check. Oh, okay. Is this a little better?
It sounds a little bit better to me. Yeah, it sounds a little
All
bit
right.
better to me. We'll see.
All right.
Who knows? This might be the last time I use StreamYard. I mean, I'll use it for community streams and all that, but I mean, it's just so bad. It's like, come on, guys. But in either case, what I was saying.
I think I found a way to use like Adam was telling me the other day, using that Google Meets or Meet thing. Yeah, it works pretty good.
That might be the way. Adam's usually onto that kind of stuff. Okay, so it sounds a little bit better to me. So the point I was making, sort of before we lost you, was that I think for me, one of the big keystones of this whole discussion is the situation between Sony and Marvel, right? So we still don't really know what that looks like or what they're actually going to do. And I think, just from my read of the situation, and it's just speculation, but my read of the situation is Feige would want to figure out a way to make that make sense without destroying his own continuity. Like, I use this word all the time, diegetic. Basically just means within the world of the story. So if you look at Far From Home and like the level 1 symmetry that Mysterio's talking about and all of that, I mean, I think it's pretty possible that the Venom universe and all of that will sort of be treated as a parallel universe. And, even the comment by Feige saying that Spider-Man is the only character that can hop between cinematic universes, I thought was really interesting and perhaps a little bit telling of what he wants to do. Now, the question becomes, what does Sony want to do? Because I think Sony doesn't want there to be a clean, diegetic breakup between the two universes. They want you to think that that's a part of the MCU, right?
Right.
But, I made the point in the video on Monday that if they put Tobey Maguire into Doctor Strange 2, right? If they actually do that, and then they send Tobey Maguire to be Spider-Man with Tom Hardy and Venom, isn't Sony kind of getting what they want? Isn't Sony getting a little bit more of that connective tissue between the MCU and their Sony universe? I mean, what do you think about that?
Yeah, absolutely they do. Absolutely they do. I mean, I think, and that's when I heard you bring that up in that video, I was like, man, that's actually so great. And the thing is when it comes down to it, is why not?
Right.
Why not? I mean, like, all the movies exist out there. Anybody who's really into all these universes knows these characters. They know the movies. They've watched them. They might like them. They might not like them. But just still tipping your hat to all of these movies, I think would be a good thing. Now, even the thing with like the Evan Peters situation, doing that, and even if he's even if he was Quicksilver in the series, that doesn't mean that he's going to be like everything's going to be the same. Like, all that stuff is going to be tying into everything. It's just kind of really saying like, hey, all this exists, and it's all these same characters. Maybe you should check this kind of stuff out. It just kind of gets more people into watching these movies, and hopefully, I mean, maybe bringing more income for those movies, and just things like that. Like I said, exploding the universe, and I think that's where we're at in the MCU anyway, is needing to explode that universe. And no matter what that takes, I think they're willing to do that without it, because I think even tipping your hat to that stuff doesn't necessarily ruin anything that Feige has built or anything that would tie into that, even with the Sony stuff.
Yeah, no, I think that's fair. It's funny with the Quicksilver thing specifically. It's such an interesting idea, because let's say they do just use him as Quicksilver. And what I would do is just put him in as Quicksilver and explain nothing. He's just Quicksilver, right? But I would explain nothing. But then the implications of it are really weird, because technically that's like what we think we know about the show. Technically that's not even a real reality, right? So this could be a reality that Wanda is literally creating, okay? But we think the kids are actually going to come from this reality that she's creating, and the kids will be ripped from that reality and then be in the main Marvel universe and go forward from there. That's already a ridiculous idea, right?
Yeah.
So the question is like, what exactly is going on with Wanda in this world creating thing? What if this would be the most baller move, dude? If they made him Quicksilver, no explanation, and then at the end of the series, it's revealed that he is actually Mephisto, and that he was Mephisto the whole time, hanging out as Quicksilver. Mind blown. Yeah. That'd be pretty dope.
Yes, totally. And see, one of the things, like, all of this kind of really plays into other stuff that I've kind of been thinking about. Like I said, with some of the books that I've been reading, some of these videos I need to get caught up on with the assault on Pleasant Hill. I was sitting there thinking about all these things about Pleasant Hill, this fake prison.
Yeah.
Where they've got the villains locked up at. But then we see in like the Falcon and Winter Soldier series, we see Zemo there, and we see him obviously talking with Winter Soldier and just some of these different things. And I was like, what if, because we've got barf and everything out there, and we can see that they had a lot of it. If you go back and watch Spider-Man Far From Home, the barf tech was real, man. Like, he had all those drones and everything that they were actually using to create all these illusions and everything. That it started to make me think, man, is Silent Hill real? Or not Silent Hill, but Pleasant Hill real? And are they already there?
Yeah, dude. There's a lot of wild shit, right? Like, I think really when you start to think about like the Endgame thing and Doctor Strange and all of these different things, man, like, there's just way more stuff going on than I think we're all even realizing. And there could be a lot of weird things going on in the future. I mean, as an option here, there is literally an option that they put him in as Quicksilver, and then they literally bring him in and make him Quicksilver after that in the mainline MCU. And then there's even an opportunity for them in Doctor Strange 2 to visit the Fox X-Men world and like see him there or something. Do you know what I mean? Like, there's ways to do all of this. Now, my opinion is this. I think what's really going on is that the multiverse and the timelines are all fractured, and things are just completely out of control. That like Endgame basically started off something, a sequence of events, a domino effect of cosmic craziness that the whole MCU is going to be dealing with. And this will take us to Battleworld. It just feels very similar to the setup that Hickman had in Time Runs Out, which is essentially like all this bizarre, crazy stuff is happening in all of these different multiverses, and stuff's wild. And eventually it leads to all of that stuff smashing together and then creating a new status quo out of that. And so, we know, it's kind of stuff that I've sort of repeated, but we know that Feige met with Patrick Stewart. We know he met with Hugh Jackman. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So we know that these meetings have happened. We also know that the Russo brothers have meetings with Marvel Studios every single month, right?
Yeah.
And so I think that this could all lead towards something where basically like they have a lot of freedom to do crazy shit. Right now the rumor is that Monica Rambeau is going to be that the photon for our MCU is actually going to be a Monica Rambeau from a different reality, right? The Loki that might be the main MCU timeline might be a young Loki from a different reality. Loki in the Loki show, we think, is going to be jumping through different times and different realities, right?
Right.
So it's not that crazy to think that Feige could cherry pick the things he wants from these other sides of the MCU, these other things. And as I sort of continue to preach about, I think that it would be the greatest comic book crossover movie of all time, dude. If you bring in Wesley Snipes' Blade, if you bring in some, dude, like I will just geek out, like that's the coolest. And like you said, he's kind of beating DC to the punch again if he does this.
Yeah. And that's the thing is like, let's not like act like that's out of the realm of possibility. Cause we've seen Kevin Feige do that over and over and over again. As he's been building this whole thing, paying homage to all these movies, I think would be a cool thing. It's not to say that they're all going to tie in, but then just all of the things kind of going on at once. Like I've got that line from Peggy Carter, just like playing over and over in my head. The world has changed, and I was sitting there thinking about that because let's think about, not only meddling with like the multiverse and everything, what they did in Endgame. Obviously with what they did in the movie, let alone the fact of Cap going back and everything that happens with that.
Right.
Let's not forget that in Spider-Man Far From Home, Cap is dead, but Cap was alive. You know what I mean? So they think he's dead, but he was really alive, and he went back to the 40s and lived out a life. What did Williams, Wonder Man. Loki went out there. He took the Space Stone, and I'll easily argue that being able to bend space is time and space. Sure. They kind of go hand in hand. All of these kinds of things going on out there in the world. Let's not forget the Skrulls. Are the Skrulls just gone? Could they not have been out there impersonating other people and doing all kinds of other stuff? How long has Nick Fury actually been in space? I started thinking about that. Dude, how long has Nick Fury been in space?
How long has he been in space?
These things, I'm like, dude.
Yeah, we don't know. And the other thing too, and I just want to touch on this super chat from Stormbreaker. Thank you so much, man. Thanks for the support. He says, I think Evan Peters is playing the Grim Reaper. He was rumored at one point, and it would be a 1+1 because they will also be able to bring in his brother, Simon Williams, a.k.a. Wonder Man. Chet Boys for life. Hey, look, I've heard other people talking about that too, Stormbreaker. I don't think it's I don't think it's a terrible idea. I think it would be cool. And his twin brother, right? It's a twin brother, right? It's just his brother. Okay. But that would be crazy, dude. Yeah, like Evan Peters could be a cool Wonder Man or Power Man. But you know what? That's kind of a messed up situation because if you think about it, in the comic books, Wanda is in love with Wonder Man. And then Wonder Man's brain is used to create Vision, right? Like he gets the personality of Wonder Man's brain, I think is what it was. And that's why she falls in love with Vision. In the MCU, there is no Wonder Man. There is no first person that she falls in love with. So it would be really, really different than what they did in the comic books. But hey, they could totally do that. And again, I appreciate the support. Yeah, man, it's the possibilities are ridiculous. I thought about this the other day. What if the Skrulls, because I really want my bad guy Skrulls, right? Well, what if the bad guy Skrulls we get in the MCU are from a different universe, and they're refugees from a different universe, and they come in and they think that all of the good guy Skrulls are a bunch of pussies, and they're basically like, what are you guys doing? Like, dude, screw you, Talos, you freaking puss. We're taking over. You know what I mean? And they kind of come in and do that kind of a crazy thing. I think that would be really cool. But yeah, with the multiverse, dude, they have literally unlimited potential for storytelling and for crossovers and things like that.
Yeah, absolutely, man. Just like I said, they've got everything set up, really. It's time to take and explode the world. And the good thing about that is, as much as everybody, there's, some of the people who love the MCU will, talk about how great it is, and even some of the haters will talk about how it's over. I think we're just ready for it to explode open, so we get all of these different characters, so everyone can be happy. Everyone can have their little characters
have your toys
out there in the Marvel Cinematic Universe. Yeah, as many as people won't like some of them, many people will like seeing all of them as well.
I agree with that, my friend. Well, I know you probably got to go get ready for your stream, but I appreciate you being here as always. Is there anything you want to plug before you go?
Not really. I've got some comic book reviews getting ready to drop here on the channel, and then I've got one that I'm going to be going and maybe doing a little bit deeper dive on and exploring. But other than that, that's not really. Just getting ready to do the live show here in a few minutes. Probably going to be a short one. I'm gonna have a busy day of work and everything ahead of me. So.
Yeah, man, me too.
You know how it is.
Yeah, dude. I got a lot to do for this trivia. It's gonna be it's gonna be fun. So I'm excited for that. Well, yeah, man. We'll let you get started on your stream. We'll send the people over once we finish up here, and we'll get into Q&A. So thanks again, man. I appreciate you.
Yeah, thanks for having me. Y'all have a good one.
Brother. Take care.
Later.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, we'll get on into Q&A now. And I definitely want to know what everybody has on their mind parts about the multiverse, about comics, about anything nerdy that's going on in the crazy world in which we live in. So we'll drop on in to Q and A. You know, I think Trinity's so right, man. The possibilities. The possibilities with the MCU. And everybody says the MCU is dead. The MCU is over. Guys, the MCU has not even started. In my opinion. We're arguing over which Quicksilver is the best, MCU or Fox. It's a tough one, man. I actually like the Fox one, you know? I like the I like the Fox one better. Look, Kevin Feige's in the chat, everybody. Denzel Washington's son needs to be that John Stewart. Yeah, dude. That Boss Logic art was great. That Boss Logic run is great. Stormbreaker says, Josh, have you checked out the new Moon Knight run? So I haven't checked out the new Moon Knight run, but Moon Knight is the main villain in the Avengers thing going on right now. And whoo, baby, do I love that book. Look at this hair. This is ridiculous. Guys, we go green in Pittsburgh on Friday. And holy good God, I'm going to need this haircut real quick. Chet made a sock account on YouTube. That better not be you, Chet. That better not be you. I like both, but they are very different. They are very different. I think the one in the MCU is powered down, but probably properly powered down. You know what I mean? Like the fact that he would do all this stuff and then get out of breath and not have the capacity to just do all of that. It's pretty interesting. The Fox Quicksilver is more fun, but the MCU one makes more sense and feels like the right way to go in the MCU. I agree. Josh, did you get your shield checks? Don't talk about DC. What do I pay you for? Well, you know, the new regime over at DC and Zack Snyder and AT&T. Sorry, Kev. They've got deep pockets, baby. You know, the shield checks coming in from DC these days are pretty good. Are all the teams competing tonight? No. Tonight, in the red corner, the Slipper Clan. And in the blue corner, the real Spiel. So those are the only teams that are participating tonight. His power was corny AF. The way it looked was bad. Which one are you talking about? First of all, I think both of their powers look dope. But the Fox one is like, bro, if you can't get down on the Fox one, come on. Is it true that the High Republic is delayed? Yes, it is. Start the stream over. The Godfather just got here. All right, guys, we're gonna redo this. We're gonna restart this. Okay. We're restarting everything. All right. It's gonna be okay. We got it. Oh. WandaVision already filmed. Yeah, mostly, for sure. Pretty close. Are you wearing a tux tonight? Hey, let me ask you guys a question. Okay? Because I do want to wear something nice. I'll at least wear a suit jacket or a blazer or something like that. But as I was looking at myself as I was doing testing yesterday, I was like, I don't know, man. It feels a little off-brand. Feels a little off-brand to not just be dressing like I normally dress. I don't know. Should I dress up? Should I just throw a suit jacket on and just be chilling? What do you guys think? Never order a book on the book depository. Ordered a trade paperback about 5 months ago. Holy God. All you need is the game show host Mike. That could be kind of interesting. Don't do the suit jacket and t-shirt. I love the suit jacket and t-shirt. That used to be my total look. Wear a suit jacket over the Batman shirt. Just a nice button-up. A 3-piece suit. You should wear Hawaiian print swim shorts and a business jacket. You should wear a nerdy shirt under a sports coat. Yeah, that's what I was thinking. Do normal Josh, says Dave. If I don't see a boat, go naked. There's a thought, right? Agreeing with Mav. You do you. Okay, gotcha. Jason, you got to be on stream tonight. What's this? You can't be on stream? You got a big old pimple? Isn't there stuff you could put on a pimple that, like, you know, like some cream or something like that that just makes it super noticeable? Put some Carmex on there, get it nice and shiny so that everybody can see it. Look, I mean, we can whip something up called the pimple cam, and we can have a pimple cam that we keep cutting to, and it's like this ultra zoomed in on your pimple, and we can be like, oh, let's check out the pimple cam. What do you think's going on with the pimple? Oh shit, looks like it's bubbling up a little bit, spreading a bit. Big old pimple called his face. Boom, roasted. Yikes. Kevin Feige says, Josh, are you going to compare yourself to when Robert starts filming or when the movie comes out? When the movie comes out. That is such an interesting thing, too, because, like, so apparently things might be starting up again soon in the UK, and the Batman and all that might be starting up again soon. Man, I think, in all seriousness, I know I joke a lot about this, but I think Robert Pattinson really does need to be, like, working out and eating a ton, like, real fast. Should we watch? We really don't need to practice because we're already going to win our round. You should definitely watch. It's going to be a beautiful, beautiful production. And also, we're going to need feedback. You know, look, it's the first season. It's the first episode. There's going to be some things we need to iron out. There's going to be some things we want to be better. And so we will need you guys to check it out and give us the feedback. You know what I mean? When do you think we will know for sure if Marvel will be doing the multiverse from different Fox Marvel movies? Will it be before WandaVision comes out or after? Well, it just depends because I think they had it just depends. What are they going to do for San Diego Comic-Con, right? San Diego Comic-Con is now Comic-Con at home. It's going to be live streamed. I think Feige's still going to do a big stream and make a bunch of announcements. But I'll tell you this. I think the focus is really just going to be on what's already out there, what's already announced. Maybe talking about some of the new shows. But I think that the reality is they get another chance to do their Phase 4 announcement. And really, they kind of need to do another hype building thing because it's been so long. Like, they came out, everything was really hype last year, right? We were pumped. And then the buzz died down, and then sort of the narrative started of like, oh, well, Black Widow, Shang-Chi, like, this is your plan, this is your big thing. And so, yeah, I think those are fair criticisms. I don't agree with them, but I think they're fair. And so, bam, you got another chance. Light them up, Feige. Get on stage and light them up. Light them up, and let's get ready to rumble. How many days left in our Black Widow countdown? I'm not sure. I think it's less than 60, though, isn't it? Maybe, no, it can't be. Because it's November now, right? Kevin Feige says, we're going to light him up. My man. My man. We're going to light him up, baby. Light him up. Light 'em up. Wear something nerdy. Up late with the Dungeon Master. D&D talk. Anybody interested? Hell yeah. I'm interested in that shit for sure, bro. I done lighted up already twice. Oh, that's pretty funny. That's pretty funny. Kick the tires and light the fires. Absolutely, man. It will be interesting to see how they navigate that. You know, they've made some changes to the slate too, so you know they've got a lot that they could potentially talk about. You know, I'm really interested. There's like a bunch of nerdy stuff on the horizon that I'm really interested in. First of all, where the hell are my dope-ass Marvel mobile games? I'm like super pissed that Realm of Champions is not like coming out. We don't know much about it. And then there's the other one that's very similar that was made by another mobile company. And we talked about it before, but I'm blanking on the name. So where's my Marvel mobile games? I need a dope-ass Marvel mobile game, please. The Avengers game, is that thing going to suck totally, or is it going to be awesome? We still don't know. I'm very skeptical about that game. We should be getting announcements about that very soon. A lot of cool gaming stuff just in general. I want to know about Project Maverick, for sure. What is it? Can I play it? Should we play it? Should we all play it together? What's up with that? You know, I'm a big Halo fan, so I'm keeping my eye peeled for Halo 3 news, right? Baldur's Gate 3 is going to be dope. Cyberpunk 2077 is going to be dope. Very excited for that. So a lot of cool gaming stuff. I'm excited to see these shows getting back to it. Mandalorian 2 is going to crush. Mandalorian 2 is going to crush and set up so much cool stuff. Realm of Champion is delayed, but we just got Tigra and Hitmonkey in Contest of Champions. Interesting. Some video game news again. Did I say Halo 3? That's hilarious. I meant Halo Infinite. Halo Infinite. Imagine a Thor game or a Moon Knight game. Yeah, that'd be sick, dude. How bummed would you be if they delayed Mando Season 2? I would be incredibly bummed. Luckily, I don't think that will happen. I mean, the what do they call it? It's not the Vault. The crazy soundstage thing with all the LCD screens that they made. What did they call it? They have a name for it. The volume, right? So because of the volume, and we know how they shoot it, The Mandalorian seems like a show they can shoot with the new restrictions pretty easily. And I know they did shoot a lot of it already. You know what I mean? So. When is Avengers due to release? I know they pushed it back, but I'm not exactly sure when it comes out. All right, take care, Josh. See you later, brother. Completely gave up on Marvel Future Fight. I got so bored. Yeah. Ooh, a Superman game would be awesome. A Superman game would be great. Did you see the Wolverine and Black Panther 2 rumor? Oh, that'd be great, Burke. Thanks so much, brother. Your birthday this year is when the Avengers comes out, the game? Look, man, I'm getting that game, Dan. You know what I mean? And what do you play on? Do you play on Xbox or PlayStation? You play on Xbox or PlayStation, man? Yes, I certainly will. I certainly will, Stormbreaker. Look, we're going to start... I think we are going to do some Twitch content and do some gaming over there and all that. Why are you so awesome? I don't know. Maybe you read the right books. Maybe you had the right parents. I don't know. PlayStation 4? Psh. I would love to join your Avengers squad, but I don't think I'll be able to. Unless it's cross-platform, which I don't think it will be. There you go. Wayne White, speak of the truth. You're awesome because you're you. Don't change. Don't you ever change. Do you think an MCU movie gets added to 2021? Late summer has an opening. I'll be getting a PlayStation as soon as everything always sends me a new free one. Sorry, I'm pretty new. When is this trivia night? The trivia night is tonight. Tonight at 8 p.m. And tonight will be dope because we'll go right from trivia into Adam's show, Debate 8, at 9 p.m. So between 8 and 10, you got a lot of good content coming out over here. Yeah, man. Should be really fun. I'm excited about trivia tonight. There's still a lot of work I have to do throughout the day to get it ready. And I think it will be a little bit clanky. I don't think it'll be perfect tonight, but we'll get in the flow. We'll get it figured out. We will get in the flow and we will get it figured on out. Let's find out if our main man Trinity is streaming yet. Let us see. Is he streaming? Ooh, Trinity's talking about the spice today. Trinity's talking about what happened to Robert Meyer Burnett, which is pretty spicy. Some spicy stuff over there, I tell you what. Let's put that link into chat. He's not technically live yet, so I'll keep going a little bit here, guys. But there's the link right there. Do you know what will be cool if we did a competition and we pitted our own DC or Marvel movie? Ooh. Ooh. Josh, what nerdy big reveal will we get at Comic-Con at home? Predictions. Look, I think DC and AT&T are in a pretty nice spot. They've literally monumentally changed the conversation within just a couple of weeks. They've changed the conversation a lot. I really think DC has a really interesting opportunity to come out there and to say some things, to talk about what's coming for DC. And for the first time in a long time, people won't just roll their eyes or be like, we'll actually listen. Look, I'm going to give them a fair shake. We're going to cover everything that DC does. So what am I expecting at Comic-Con at home? Warner Brothers, step yo game out. Step yo game up. Okay? I think it's in July this year, if I'm not mistaken, Jordan. How's HBO Max? It's good. I like HBO Max. There's definitely a lot of flaws in it, and I will say this. I think that the content, I think we'll all burn through that content within a month. You know what I mean? Like within a month, like right now, HBO Max is getting a ton of screen time. I think that HBO Max is getting a ton of subscriptions, and they're doing really well. But like I told you guys, we went over all that incredible content that they have on their day one, and it's true. They have a lot of good content. But I do think that will phase out. Like we'll get over it. Within a month, you'll be like, at nighttime or whenever you're watching your stuff, you'll be like, do I really want to watch anything on HBO Max? Let me check out what Netflix is going on. Let's check out what's on Disney Plus and all of that, right? So, peace out, brother. Oh, I'm like 2/3 of the way through on Princess Mononoke. Holy crap! It's embarrassing that I haven't seen that movie. That movie is freaking amazing. Okay, so I'll just comment briefly on this because of Coachella Coastal and everybody's like talking about it in the chat. I would recommend everybody go check out Trinity's stream so that they can get a taste and a feel for what Trinity thinks about it. All I'm gonna say is this: we made the statement yesterday, and we tried to be very careful with our words and how we approached the statement yesterday. The truth is, tensions are incredibly high right now. I am seeing a lot of tweets and a lot of people saying and talking about stuff that I don't think they normally would, because I think the emotional state for everybody is heightened, okay? And so for me personally, I'm trying not to hold what people say on social media against them as harshly right now, because it's just nuts. And everybody's feeling all sorts of different ways about it, and they're expressing their opinions in all sorts of different ways. Like, we had a lot of people yesterday that were... They saw us as like virtue signaling, or they saw what we did yesterday as wrong, bending the knee, whatever, right? And my honest to God opinion was like, some of those people, if I felt like they were being toxic, I blocked, but I'll eventually unblock them. It's not like a permanent block. It was just for the sake of the conversation. I was like, just put them off to the side. But my honest opinion is like, dude, everybody's right to feel however they feel about this and express themselves. And if anything, we should be more forgiving and accepting of the way people are espousing their opinions. You know what I mean? So I personally don't think anything you tweet or say on Twitter should be held up as evidence for your canceling. But also, as a person that's a personality, you should realize that it will. Right or wrong, it will. You know what I mean? So that's all I'll say about that one, guys. Like I said, we're going to keep it light. Yeah, everybody's at an 11 right now. We just need love, man. Love and compassion. That's what it's about. Haven't been able to watch any but Ghibli lately. Dude, Studio Ghibli, it's so good. Like, Princess Mononoke is blowing me away. And I think I'm going to watch Howl's Moving Castle next. Then Totoro, or whatever that next one is. I'm going to watch all of them, dude. That shit's dope. Hey, look, man, that's for you to decide. Equals MCU. That's for you to decide, brother. All right, guys, we're getting out of here. Again, here is the link to DOS Trinity's stream. I am interested in hearing what this man has to say. All right, so let's go over and check that out, guys. Make sure you come on back tonight at 8 p.m. 8 p.m. tonight. I'm hoping to see you there. All right, guys, we're going to call it. As I always say, I hope you're having an awesome and a nerdy day. And I will see you in the next video.